Excuse me, sir, this section is for premium passengers only. You need to move to economy, now. The words weren't just loud, they were loaded. Phones turned. Eyes stared. Judgments were already made. But he didn't flinch. He simply said, "I'm in the right seat." What happened next wasn't a misunderstanding. It was a reckoning. One that would expose bias at 35,000 feet and shake the walls of a billion-dollar airline. His name is Daniel Carter. And he doesn't look like the kind of guy who'd turn a routine flight into a viral reckoning. The soft glow of the cabin lights catches the scuff marks on his old leather backpack, resting at his feet. He's a black man in his early 40s, with a quiet intensity that doesn't scream power, at least not yet. The flight attendant, Emily Harper, looms over him, her tablet clutched like a shield. "Sir, I need to see your boarding pass. There's been a mix-up." Her tone is sharp, her eyes darting to the other passengers, some already whispering, others filming. Daniel pulls out his phone, taps the screen, and holds it up. "First class, seat 2B, paid in full." Emily's lips tighten. She doesn't believe him. And that's where this story begins to spiral. The cabin feels smaller now, the air thick with tension. A woman in 3A, an older white passenger with silver hair, leans forward. "Young man, just take your seat in the back. No need to make a fuss." Her words land like a slap, but Daniel's face stays steady, his fingers tapping a slow rhythm on his armrest. Emily calls over another flight attendant, a younger woman named Mia, who whispers, "Is there an issue?" Emily's response is loud enough for everyone to hear. He's in the wrong seat and refusing to move. The accusation hangs there, heavy, as phones capture every second. Somewhere in the rows behind, a Twitter user named at Cloud Chaser starts typing, "Watching a black man get humiliated on Horizon Air Flight 739. This is unreal." The tweet spreads like wildfire. Daniel's voice stays low, deliberate. "Could you please check your system again? There's no error." Emily's fingers dance across her tablet, her frown deepening. "Our records show an economy ticket, sir. You need to move to row 19. Daniel doesn't flinch. He pulls out a sleek platinum card from his wallet and sets it on the tray table. "Horizon Air Platinum Elite, 250,000 miles flown. I've been first class for 8 years. The card gleams under the cabin lights, but Emily barely glances at it. "Those can be faked," she says, her voice sharp with dismissal. The man in 3A mutters, "Just go, buddy." But a woman in 4C, Dr. Elena Marquez, sets down her book and speaks up. "He showed you his boarding pass. Why aren't you checking it properly?" The question cuts through the cabin like a blade. The departure board flickers above Gate 12. Flight 739 to Seattle, delayed 18 minutes. The captain, Thomas Bennett, steps out from the cockpit, his crisp uniform and silver-streaked hair commanding attention. "What's the holdup?" he asks, his eyes skimming Daniel, sweatshirt, sneakers, backpack, and landing on Emily. "Passenger in the wrong seat refusing to comply," she says. Thomas crosses his arms. "Sir, you're delaying this flight. Move to your assigned seat or we'll call security." Daniel's eyes meet his, calm but unyielding. "Captain, I'm in my seat. Here's my ID, boarding pass, and elite status." He holds out the documents, but Thomas waves them away. "I've seen this before. People try to sneak upgrades all the time." The words sting, and the cabin grows quieter, every passenger now a witness. Daniel starts recording on his phone, his voice steady as steel. "For the record, it's 4:09 p.m., Flight 739. I'm being asked to leave my paid first-class seat, despite showing proof." Thomas's face hardens. "Put that phone away. You're causing a disturbance." Daniel doesn't budge. "I'm documenting unfair treatment." Emily's radio crackles as she calls for ground security. "The woman in 4C, Doctor." Marquez stands now, her voice rising. "This is absurd. He's shown you everything. Why are you assuming he's lying?" The man in 3A shakes his head, muttering, "Always someone causing trouble." But the tide is shifting. More passengers are watching, filming, questioning. Cloud Chaser's tweet hits 120 retweets in minutes. Horizon Air just called security on a black passenger for sitting in his own seat. Horizon discrimination. 2 security officers arrive at the gate, their boots heavy on the jet bridge. The older one, Carl Rivera, scans the scene. A calm man in 2B, surrounded by a tense crew and a crowd of passengers with phones out. "Sir, can I see your documents?" he asks, his tone neutral. Daniel hands over his boarding pass and ID. Carl studies them, then looks at Emily. "This says first class, seat 2B, matches his ID. Emily's face flushes. It's a glitch. He must have manipulated the system. Carl raises an eyebrow. "These come from your system. How's that possible?" The second officer, Sarah Lynn, glances at Daniel, then at the crowd. She senses something bigger brewing. The departure board now reads, "Delayed 29 minutes." Daniel's phone buzzes with a text, but he doesn't check it yet. Instead, he stands, slinging his backpack over one shoulder. "I'll step off to verify with the gate agent, but I'm not moving to economy." The crowd parts as he walks down the aisle, Carl and Sarah trailing behind. Dr. Marquez follows, her phone still recording. At the gate, the supervisor, Karen Ellis, waits with a clipboard and a tight smile. She's been with Horizon Air for 14 years, prides herself on control. "Mr. Carter, let's see your documents," she says, her voice clipped. She examines his boarding pass, ID, and elite card with exaggerated care, her eyes flicking to his casual clothes. "Everything seems in order, but given your behavior, we're reassigning you to economy." Daniel's jaw tightens. "What behavior? I sat in my seat and showed my proof." Karen's smile fades. "You're arguing with my crew. Take the economy seat or you're off this flight." The gate area is now a stage, with 25 passengers gathered, phones raised. Cloud Chaser's livestream hits 2,500 viewers, the hashtag #Horizon Discrimination trending. Comments flood in. "This is 2025, and they're still doing this. Sue them." "Who is this guy?" Daniel pulls out his phone and makes a quick call, his voice low but firm. "I'm delayed. Start the meeting without me. I'll handle this." Karen overhears, her eyes narrowing. "Who are you calling?" Daniel doesn't answer, his fingers typing notes on his phone, capturing every detail. Dr. Marquez leans toward a nearby passenger, whispering, "He mentioned a board meeting." "Who is this guy?" The passenger, a tech entrepreneur named Ryan Patel, starts Googling. His eyes widen. "Oh man, this is about to explode." Karen's radio crackles. "Supervisor Ellis, contact headquarters, urgent." She ignores it, focusing on Daniel. "Last chance, Mr. Carter, economy or you're out." Daniel looks at her, his voice calm but edged with steel. "I'd like to speak to your district manager." Karen laughs, a sharp, dismissive sound. "I'm the senior supervisor here. You can file a complaint online like everyone else." Dr. Marquez steps forward, her voice steady. "I'm a witness. This man did nothing wrong. You're targeting him for no reason." Ryan joins in. "I saw it too. You didn't even check his documents properly." The crowd grows, now 35 strong, phones capturing every angle. Karen's control is slipping, and she knows it. Daniel's phone buzzes again. He glances at the screen. A text. "Board assembled. Call when ready." He slips the phone into his pocket and pulls a business card from his backpack, handing it to Karen. Her eyes scan it, and her face pales. "Daniel Carter, CEO, Carter Enterprises." Whispers ripple through the crowd. Dr. Marquez reads over Karen's shoulder and gasps. Ryan, still on his phone, mutters, "Carter Enterprises? They're worth billions." Cloud Chaser's livestream explodes. "Wait, he's a CEO? Horizon Air just messed with the wrong guy." The hashtag spikes to 3,500 tweets. Karen's hands shake as she clutches the card. "Mr. Carter, this doesn't change anything. You were disruptive." But her voice wavers. Daniel checks his watch. "In 3 minutes, you'll get a call from your CEO. I suggest you answer it." The gate area feels like a pressure cooker, the air buzzing with anticipation. Passengers lean forward, some standing on chairs to see better. Captain Bennett emerges looking rattled. "What's going on out here?" Carl fills him in, his voice low. He's the CEO of Carter Enterprises, major player. Bennett's eyes flick to Daniel, reassessing the sweatshirt, the sneakers. They don't look so ordinary now. Karen's radio crackles again, and this time she answers. Supervisor Ellis, this is Laura Thompson, CEO of Horizon Air. Is Daniel Carter with you? Karen's face drains of color. Yes, ma'am. Put him on. Daniel steps forward, his voice calm. Laura, I was removed from my paid first-class seat on Flight 739. I showed my documents, but your crew assumed I didn't belong because of how I look. The crowd is silent, hanging on every word. Laura's voice crackles through the radio. Daniel, this is unacceptable. What's happening? He holds up his phone, showing the trending hashtag. It's all over social media. Your stock's down 1.8% in the last 40 minutes. This is a crisis. Gasps ripple through the crowd. Dr. Marquez whispers to Ryan. He's not just fighting for himself. Daniel continues. Your shareholder agreement, section 15.1, allows for a governance review in cases of discrimination. I'm invoking it. Laura's voice tightens. What do you need? Daniel looks at the crowd, at the phones, at Karen's trembling hands. Immediate action. Terminate the involved staff, implement bias training, and set up an anonymous reporting system, and I want it done in 96 hours. The gate erupts in murmurs. Her Cloud Chaser's viewer count hits 6,000. He's taking down the whole system. Laura hesitates, then says, We'll make this right. Full authority is yours. Daniel nods, pulling a folder from his backpack. One more thing, Laura. Last year my foundation donated $600,000 to your airline for diversity training. Clearly, it wasn't enough. The crowd gasps again. Emily, standing at the edge, looks like she might collapse. Daniel turns to the passengers. I'm sorry for the delay, but this isn't just about me. It's about every passenger who's been treated like they don't belong. His words land like a vow, and the crowd claps, some wiping tears. Inside Horizon Air's headquarters, a sleek conference room hums with panic. Laura Thompson sits at a long glass table, surrounded by board members and lawyers. A massive screen shows at Cloud Chaser's livestream, the stock ticker plummeting, and a Twitter dashboard tracking number Horizon Discrimination. Laura patches Daniel through, his face filling the screen. He stands at the gate, his backpack slung over one shoulder, the crowd behind him. Laura, your crew's actions today reflect a deeper problem, he says, his voice steady, but commanding. Your discrimination complaints are 45% above the industry average. Your customer satisfaction is a 3.0 out of 5. Carter Enterprises spends $1.5 million a year on your flights. That's at risk now. Board member Rachel Kim leans forward. Mr. Carter, what exactly are you proposing? Daniel shares his tablet screen, a chart flashing on the conference room monitor. It shows Horizon Air's complaint data, a stark red line climbing. First, fire the staff who discriminated, Emily Harper and Captain Bennett, within 36 hours. Second, roll out mandatory bias training for all employees within 45 days. Third, launch an anonymous reporting system by Tuesday. Fourth, create an $800,000 fund for diversity initiatives. And fifth, issue a public apology admitting your systemic failures. The boardroom is silent, pens scratching furiously. Laura's jaw tightens. A public apology could open us to lawsuits. Daniel's eyes don't waver. You're already exposed. There are 7,000 people watching this live. The crowd at the gate is electric, passengers hanging on every word. Karen's phone rings again, Horizon's legal team. Daniel gestures to Emily. Miss Harper, tell the board what you said to me. Emily's voice shakes. I told him he didn't belong in first class. A board member, Michael Chen, asks, Why? Emily falters, her eyes darting to Daniel's sweatshirt. The truth is unspoken, but clear. Daniel steps in. She assumed a black man in casual clothes couldn't afford first class. That's your culture problem. Laura's voice crackles through. We accept your terms, Daniel. All of them. The crowd cheers, phones waving like flags. Cloud Chaser's stream hits 12,000 viewers. This is history unfolding. Daniel isn't done. One more thing, he says, his voice cutting through the noise. Tie 30% of executive bonuses to diversity metrics. Publicly reported, quarterly. Laura hesitates, but the board nods. Agreed, she says. Daniel closes his folder. Send me the implementation plan by tonight. He turns to the crowd. Thank you for standing with me. This fight is for all of us. The applause is deafening, passengers hugging strangers, some crying. Dr. Marquez approaches Daniel. You stayed so calm. How? He smiles faintly. Anger burns out. Change lasts. Flight 739 finally boards, 71 minutes late, but the cabin feels different, lighter, hopeful. Daniel takes his seat in 2B, and for the first time, no one questions him. 3 days later, Daniel sits in his Seattle office, a sleek space overlooking Puget Sound. His assistant, Maya Torres, lays out a stack of reports. Horizon fired Harper and Bennett yesterday, she says. Bias training started this morning. The anonymous reporting system is live. Daniel nods, scanning the documents. His phone pings with a news alert. Horizon air stock climbs 3.5% after bold anti-discrimination reforms. Laura Thompson's CNN interview plays on his laptop, her voice earnest. Mr. Carter's experience was a wake-up call. We're committed to change. The anonymous system logs its first complaint. A passenger in Dallas reporting bias by a gate agent. It's being investigated within hours. Laura calls Daniel via video, her face softer now. We've cut discrimination complaints by 55% in 3 days, she says, sharing a dashboard of metrics. Employees are reporting incidents proactively. Your training model is being adopted by 5 other airlines. Daniel leans back, satisfied. That's the goal. Systems that hold people accountable. Laura hesitates. How did you know how to push us like that? Daniel's eyes drift to the window, the water sparkling below. I've faced this before, Laura. But I've also run a company for 16 years. I know how to make power listen. She nods. We're increasing your firm's travel budget with us by 25%. Daniel smiles. Only if you keep the changes coming. A week later, Daniel gets a call from Dr. Marquez. Your story inspired me, she says. I'm head of cardiology at Seattle General. We're launching bias training and a reporting system based on your model. Daniel's heart swells. That's how it spreads, one system at a time. The impact ripples outward. The hashtag #, dignity in flight, trends with 60,000 posts. Amtrak announces a diversity officer. 3 hotel chains adopt reporting systems. A letter arrives from a young black woman, Tiana Brooks, a law student. I was humiliated on a Delta flight last month, but I didn't have your platform. Your story gave me the courage to file a complaint with the ACLU. Daniel adds her letter to a file fueling a class action lawsuit. 6 months later, the Department of Transportation unveils new rules requiring airlines to report discrimination complaints publicly. They're called the Horizon Rules, after Daniel's stand. His foundation, the Carter Fund, now supports 48 cases of transportation bias, from buses to ride shares. On a return flight to Seattle, Daniel boards Flight 739 again. The flight attendant, a young black man named Jamal, greets him warmly. Mr. Carter, it's an honor. Anything you need? Daniel looks around the first-class cabin, diverse faces, all treated with respect. You're doing it right, Jamal, he says, settling into 2B. The plane takes off, carrying more than passengers. It carries a new standard. 2 years later, Daniel stands at a podium in Atlanta's Civil Rights Center, addressing 1,200 attendees at the Transportation Justice Summit. The room is packed. Activists, CEOs, lawmakers, and one unexpected face. Emily Harper. The live stream hits 250,000 viewers. Daniel clicks to a chart showing airline discrimination complaints down 78% since 2025. This isn't about one flight, he says, his voice resonating. It's about building systems where dignity is non-negotiable. Emily raises her hand during Q&A. Mr. Carter, I'm the flight attendant who started this. I was wrong, and I've spent 2 years learning why. Now I train companies to avoid my mistakes. The crowd murmurs, then claps. Daniel smiles. Emily, your growth is what change looks like. He clicks to his final slide, a photo of Tiana Brooks, now a lawyer leading transportation reform. Tiana turned her pain into power, he says. You can too. Document injustice, demand accountability, use your voice. The audience rises, applauding for 5 minutes. The live stream chat floods with stories, pledges, and hope. Daniel steps off the stage, his eyes on the crowd. One moment on Flight 739 changed an industry, but the real victory is this. Every traveler, no matter who they are, now boards with a little more dignity. And that's a story worth telling.